As an early education leader, I'm sure you are quite aware that there are many stages to becoming a leader, as well as becoming one that's greatly inspirational and influential in the field and to your staff and others. So today I want to explore a little bit of what my research has shown and my experience has provided to me. One of the things we know as early educators is that just about everything can be linked to a developmental process. And that's very true in growth and development and leadership as well. What we do know is our experiences build on one another, and the reactions that happen to us craft how that's going to be used in our future. We also know that birth order can have an impact, as well as some of our physical skills and opportunities that just come our way. So one of the questions many people has is, are leaders born or are they developed? Well, I believe it's a bit of both. So some of this is nature and some of it is nurtured. Do you remember times, perhaps in school, when the teacher said, okay, everybody line up? And there was that one person, maybe it was you, who always instructed the other kids on how to line up, just like the teacher asked them to do. Many times you'll see this person still in action as an adult when everybody's quiet and nobody will answer that which someone has asked of them. They'll be the one that pops up because they can't stand the silence and they know what the answer is. They always have an answer. So some of this is just naturally, it comes to you because it's part of your makeup, part of your experience. There are times that people just take the initiative to lead a project, even if somebody hasn't asked them to. And then sometimes we take a look at people and say, you know what, they really are good at this. Let's give them an opportunity. So all of these opportunities of leadership are informal in nature. And so we call the first stage informal leadership. And that may be something that the person takes on themselves just because they're natural at it, or it may be something that somebody asks them to do. They're good at doing it, and they just take the lead and get it done. But leadership can also be learned. Sometimes this informal leadership stage is also called the emerging leader. This emerging leader often has so many opportunities to show their potential for a great leadership that others continue to give them the opportunities to shine. And sometimes this becomes into a specific project or a specific position. And therefore, the second stage is called positional leadership. Many times an executive leader will ask one of their staff members to take on a project. They'll give them parameters and directions and oversight, but yet this person still has responsibility, authority, and accountability in the position that executive has given them. As leadership develops, additional responsibilities could be given to this emerging leader to such a point that the position that they're given is not just a project or one specific area of responsibility, but maybe many. And this leader then moves into the managing leader position stage. And a managing leader is someone who really has the accountability, authority, and responsibility to manage something. And when we manage, more than likely it has some kind of criteria that has to be followed, kind of a checklist of compliances, specifically in our field. And while this managing leader has the responsibility for a specific area, they need to know how to do more than just manage it. Many times, oftentimes, problems come up and they need to be able to problem solve. Sometimes they need to be creative in how the problem is solved. So there needs to be a bit of flexibility in their responsibility for managing an area as well. Stage 4 is the visionary leader. Now, the visionary leader is able to take themselves out of the day-to-day management of the program and envision what the next step might be, a greater vision of the purpose that they are all there for. This means that they are really involved with the people, because once the visionary leader has a vision, they have to be able to paint a picture with words to entice, encourage authentically others to follow along with the vision. Visionary leaders are role models. They walk the talk, they inspire others, and they create a culture for sustainable success in their programs. Now, all of these stages are scaffolded educationally. However, there are times when we may be very strong, a visionary leader in one area, but we're just emerging in our knowledge and our strengths and our skills in another. So the leader, any leader who is aware that you have to merge all of these skills into the nature of continued learning, continuing to develop your leadership, is the one that's going to be most successful and emerge into stage 5, which is the legacy leader. Now, the legacy leader is someone who has enough knowledge, enough skill, and enough experience to be able to greatly influence others. But here's the deal. You can't influence people without the ability to inspire them. And you can't inspire people without the ability to influence them. So inspiration and influence come hand in hand when it comes to becoming that legacy leader. Now, legacy leaders are people who see the greatest picture. They've had time, they've had experience, they've had failures, they've had successes, and they take all of this wisdom and knowledge and they use it to look at the past, look at the current, and shape the future. They replicate themselves into others and allow others to have that skill, knowledge, and experience so that they can go on to even greater things than the original legacy leader. If you want to know more about these 5 stages, watch the free webinar. It's linked below, and you'll get a handout to help you remember all the things we just talked about. At Seasonal Pathways, we have many ways to help you improve, grow, and challenge yourself as a leader in early care and education. Give us a look at seasonalpathways.com.